ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of I Got Gameplay. Yes, we are 8 episodes away from episode 100. It is episode 92, where we are talking about the Tokyo Game Show. Imagine, we've had nearly 100 episodes with just me talking. Oh, God. Exactly, oh God. That's what she said. I had to. Anyway, speaking of that's what she said, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. XS Gaming Podcast himself. He is the gentleman with the most epic beard in the world and the amazing hair, and a man who's soon to hold a copy of Dynamite Ducks. He is Xander Skullion.
Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing this evening?
You know, that voice, man, you should literally think about phone sex hotlines. That could get... You're worried about your income? Just open up a phone sex line. I think that's Xander's future. I can see.
You know what I'll do is I'll open up a phone sex line, but it'll also be like an old school, like, video game hotline as well. So I can, like, help someone beat a level and get them off at the same time.
Yes.
Yes.
There you
go. So you need help with heavy rain. Well, let me get my guide out for you. Yes. Oh, there you go.
Don't ever open one.
And remember, happy gaming.
Yeah.
You could like have the advertisement of, we'll give you happy gaming, but we'll end with a happy ending. Anyway.
All gaming have happy
endings. Speaking of happy endings, we have a gentleman who is basically considered the happy ending of gaming. He is Mr. Oliver Skyscraper Hughes. Hello, Ollie.
Hello. This is the first time you've actually introduced me with my middle name.
Yes.
It's a little odd, but okay, I'll take it.
It's justification. I think we need to give you more gratification. So that's exactly what she said. Anyway,
Right. You never asked for more gratification.
Speaking of asking for more gratification, we have a lady like none other, the lovely Jamie Stiles of Hazard's Cosplay. Jamie, how you doing? What have you been up to? I've seen your photos and they are impressive. I keep telling Xander to stop staring, but he won't.
Oh yes, you know he's staring because he's so far away from you.
He is. He was just glued to his laptop. I was like, Xander, just stop. We had Skype conversations and there was loads of heavy breathing and I was just like, Xander, just honestly.
That was you. Shh. Don't spread up you.
Don't spoil it.
You see a girl in a swimsuit and y'all go mad.
We're guys, after all. That's what we do.
I do not tarnish the sword with your brush.
I have a very dirty brush.
I don't.
Speaking of tarnishing under the same brush, Mr. Zach Latour should be joining us in a little while. He will be on in a little bit. I think he's just a little busy at the moment, probably having his own happy ending. So we'll go on to the segment that we start every single I Got Gameplay with, and that is our news segment. So let's bring out the news segment and discuss some gaming news with our lovely crew now. Mr. Xander Skullion, what's in the news this week?
Well, I wasn't on last week's episode, but did you guys start talking about the new 3DS?
We did have a hefty little debate about this because I was talking with Damien Witham and Ollie about this, both making a return to the show yesterday because everyone bailed and I was lucky to get a hold of both of them. But we did talk about and discuss this because it's a big thing because Nintendo are relatively making with these new 3DSs that are going to be released next year, both systems, the 3DS and the 3DS XL, obsolete. So, shoot away, fire your opinions on this, because I really want to know what this is going to do. Because I know they said that they would bring expansions out for the Amiibos for said systems, but with the processing power on the standalone games, it looks like Nintendo are trying to get everyone to switch up.
Yeah, and I'm all for it. I really think that Nintendo should have called it like a different name than the new 3DS. But then again, it hasn't came to the States or like the UK yet, and they might change the name once it comes over here, especially with already so much of a buzz going on. But here's something I wanted to bring up that I was doing some research the other day, and this is actually not the first time that Nintendo's done something like this. they did something very similar with the DSi, but it was a huge flop. There's actually only one game that was released in the UK that's a DSi standalone physical release, and they made 3 more in the US. So Nintendo's done this before, where they've came out with a handheld that was exclusively just for these games. And right now, the only game they really released was Xenoblade Chronicles. So I don't know if they're going to start making more games for this new, updated console or what. But if you look at the timeline as well, because I know some people are like, "Oh, they're already coming out with a new handheld." If you look at the timelines, every 4 years we've gotten a new DS. Now I'm not talking about a remodel or paint job. I'm talking about a brand new DS. Like the original DS came out in 2006. The 3DS came out 4 years later, and now you got this new one that's coming out. So I mean, to me, I think the stars align, and it's just that time for a new handheld. But they should have called it something else. Nintendo's really been bad with marketing lately about naming their consoles. I mean, look at the Wii U.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. The problem that I'm having is the fact that with this new system, it's making the old ones obsolete, and in a point, by making the old system obsolete, it's not really playing fair with the fans, is it? If you think about it, in terms of what they've done, Nintendo it does look like they're going for a bit more of a cash cow, because the 3DS and the 3DS XL are still very expensive, or, honing in at over £100 per console.
Right.
So by doing this, they're literally making those consoles redundant, and without any. And the thing is, wasn't it with the 3DS itself? They actually with the DSi and the DSi XL, they gave you a discount if you traded in your old console, if I remember. Didn't they do that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so why can't they do that here? Why can't they do that with the...
Start your show now.
Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Why can't they do this here with the new system? Offer it to people for sort of a cut price, and give them a chance at purchasing this, if they do either a trade-in or if they can prove that they already own the existing systems.
I think they will do something like that, especially with GameStop. Give it time when it finally comes over here, because GameStop, they always have those promotions where a new system comes in, like, we'll give you an extra 25% trade-in value if you put it towards this. Mm-hmm. So I have a feeling that's going to happen in due time, though. I mean, we got another year before we can even really start to even think about it.
Well, thinking about that a little bit more, with this system, it actually boasts that it's going to actually have the NFC-enabled facility attached to the system itself, and you're going to have the upgraded processor, of course, as well. It also will have a bigger screen, actually larger than the 3DS XL, if I believe, with the LL system, not with the 3DS system.
And there was also a rumor going around that I'm really excited about, which I would love to segue to our next segment of news that I had. But they were talking about this 3DS might be region free.
Yeah, and that's another thing I'm looking at, because I'm hoping Nintendo do this, because at the moment, I know you and me have had a huge issue with Nintendo keeping things in certain regions, and not allowing anybody to kind of expand on that. It bugs me a lot. It's on the level where Nintendo have no idea who they're marketing to. Like the Mario Kart 8 special edition with the blue tortoise shell. You guys haven't got that over there, have you? You never got that?
Nope.
We got that. Hyrule Warriors with a brand new scarf and new DLC exclusive to that.
Yep. Also, the new Pokemon, the re-release of Sapphire and Ruby. You guys are getting still books and figures. We're not getting that either.
Yeah, and I don't get that. Why is that? And I think if they do take away the region lock, at least it gives you guys. If this is like European exclusive stuff because Nintendo of Europe have decided to do this, that's fine. but at least they should give you guys the option to pay for this, because imagine the fact if I'm paying £40 for it, that means you're paying about 60 to 75 bucks plus shipping charges for this. That's a lot of money that Nintendo can actually coop on these, because, you know, you're ordering this up from overseas, because a lot of people would want to do that to expand their collections.
I would do it. I mean, I would do it in a heartbeat if I knew that I could play the game. I mean, that's like the new Godzilla game that's coming out for the PS3. I already have it reserved from a website in Japan, because it doesn't look like it's coming over here to the American market. And if it does, it's going to be another year before they localize it. So I was just like, I want to go ahead and buy it now, since PS3 is region free.
Yeah.
And I only spent like $70 for it. That's including shipping.
And that's the big thing. It's, you know, you're prepared to pay that. And Nintendo should allow people to pay, because they're losing on a very big, substantial income here on imports, just because they want to keep the system locked out. And they're saying it's more for piracy issues. But if you're just going to keep things on said system, then what's the point?
Right.
You know, Jamie, what's your opinion on this?
My opinion on the 3DS in general.
Yeah, on the new system, and also maybe having the region lock taken away.
I would love the region lock taken away for anything and everything, because it's not fair that we get different things just because we live in America. As for the 3DS system, the new 3DS system,
Blog Talk Radio.
I don't know, like, I mean, I can see where it's a good thing, but making the newer ones, the older ones obsolete when they still have use in them, I don't know, it kind of rubs me the wrong way, but I understand that they have to put out new systems. I just wish that they would have made them all, like, I don't know, I'm upset at it because it makes the older ones obsolete and they still have use. But on another level, like, I can also see bringing in a new system simply because, like Xander says, they have put out a new one every 4 years, so I guess it's fine, but still. Also, I agree the name could have been different, like a little more original.
Yeah, but in the end, it's still the same system. It's just got an upgraded processor, so I can see the reason why they're keeping it to the same name. They're just doing what they've done with the DS and the DSi XL. They're just, you know, upgrading the system to give people a bit more choice.
Right.
But I think discounts are what's needed. And in terms of the region unlocking, I think they should do it with all their systems. I think that there is no reason why you will region lock a system. There is nothing that the United States want that Europe doesn't already have. And it's more the United States wanting what Europe has, which Nintendo will make a shitload of more money. It makes no sense.
It really doesn't. Like, it's why.
What do you think, Ollie?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, region lock is there originally for sort of piracy. But with the name, do you know what? I reckon Xbox kind of really hit on a thing when they asked their fans, "What should we call our next console?" It's a cheesy thing, but it's built loyalty in the fans, and I think that's what Nintendo need right now, a little bit of loyalty in their fans, because I think they're wavering a little bit. But yeah, region locks is just region locks. I mean, obviously, it sucks if you're not in the correct region, but they got to make money somehow. But yeah. So.
Yeah, and I think it's silly. I don't know what Reggie's thinking at the moment, because I remember you were saying that you hope that Reggie's body is ready because you're ready to kick his ass. And speaking of Reggie,
I said that Reggie's body needs to be ready for unemployment.
And speaking of Reggie's body being ready, a man whose body is always ready, here's Mr. Lee Garisic.
Oh, thank you. Sorry about being tardy. I had a few technical issues. I had to go take it out back with a hammer and fix it. So we're back on track, and I'm glad to be here.
Well, Lee, can we put your 2 cents on this? What do you think of the new 3DS systems that Nintendo are advertising? With the higher speed processor with the NSF integration for the Amiibos?
It's kind of interesting because I've never really been into handheld gaming. I've always been peripherally aware of the Game Boy ever since its inception, all through the years. I played the required games, but I never really had a liking for the Game Boy. And then I bought my beautiful Zelda, Link Between Worlds 3DS, And I tell you, that thing goes with me wherever I go. And I can't believe I survived without it. That being said, as much as I enjoy it, it does seem like they're kind of cashing in with a minimal upgrade. But then again, I'm really excited for the amiibo functionality.
Oh, and that's going to be so cheap for me for Christmas, because all I have to do is just buy them an amiibo each and I'm done.
The thought of building up, like, Samus to be, like, ultra badass and being able to carry that with me to my friend's house and have Samus kick their ass while I just sit there and watch, that's something I'm looking forward to. Now, if there's enough of a functionality on the Game Boy, then that might necessitate the additional purchase. As far as, I heard there's a few games that are being specifically made for the new 3DS. That is kind of screwed up that they would, cut out a lot of their grouping, and like a lot of the people that already jumped on board with the 3DS and then the 3DS XL and then all the different types that they keep bringing aboard. Now they're doing this. They're actually ostracizing that whole original group because they will not be able to play the new games. Well, that is not a smart move.
Though, because they've got like a little add-on edition for the NSF for the current systems. The only thing they won't be able to do is, at the moment, as Xander pointed out, they won't be able to play Xenoblade because it's going to put your 3DS LL and 3DS upgraded systems only game, and it's going to kind of piss people off.
That's a whole new can of worms because, not going to lie, I was a Final Fantasy VII fanboy for many years. I've played many RPGs, but I will say with confidence that Xenoblade Chronicles is the greatest RPG I've ever played. I have it on the Wii. I have an original copy. I'm not going to be purchasing it again on the DS, so that doesn't apply to me. But then again, the price of that game has skyrocketed, so that might open it up for a new audience if you do have the hardware to play it. So I don't know. Either way.
Is this going to be a sequel, Xander, do you know, or is it the original game they're putting on it?
Is this a straight port of the Wii? Which, I mean, I'd played a little bit of Xenoblade Chronicles. I have it as well, but I never really got around to play too much of it.
So what's the upgraded processor for that, though? Because Xenoblade runs on the Wii, and the 3DS itself can run higher than what the Wii could.
Yes.
I'm just excited about seeing the game in 3D.
Yeah, me too. I don't understand why they're making it exclusive, because it seems that it's not due to the upgraded power that they're making it an exclusive. They're just making it an exclusive to be assholes. In my opinion. Yeah, so moving on from that. Lee, do you have any news for us this week?
I was looking at it's sad, this is the only thing I was really looking at. I got really excited for the Persona 5 trailer. That looked really cool to me. I don't know if you had a chance to check that out.
Was this from the Tokyo Game Show?
I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
And, I need to get back and go catch up on the series, but that's a series that I'm really excited that's still going. But aside from that, no, I do not have any further news.
Well, I've got something we do need to talk about in the news section as well. And this is to do with gaming and gamers alike, and it kind of bugs me. I was talking to Oliver about this quite recently. Josh Whedon tweeted his support for Anita Sarkeesian by saying that and I want to make sure that I say this correctly and don't leave anything out. So I want to say it verbatim. So let me see if I can bring it up, because I've got a copy of the tweet on my phone because I didn't believe this was him saying it. I really didn't, because I thought to myself, he's an intelligent guy. He wouldn't do this, but look, I watched a bunch of women get sliced up in video games, and now I'm watching it on my Twitter feed. Femfrec is truth telling. Deal with it. And
yeah, I saw that.
And then he tweets, watch the Femfrex tropes versus women vids. Even if you think you get it, the sheer tonnage makes misogyny seem newly appalling. I don't know about it. The thing that bugs me about this is, either he's got an assistant on his Twitter feed that's tweeting this mess, or he's really just watched the video and is seeing things from one side. Now, I was debating with me about it, and because you watched, you went through one of her Tropes versus Gamer vids, didn't you?
Yeah, I watched her videos, and to be honest, I was watching it going, do you know what, she has some really good points. And then from that base, she went on to she really stretched her point, and it's like, no, you've lost me. Like, you just started making stuff up now.
Okay, so what is all of this about? Like, I have no idea who this person is. Like, not Joss Whedon, but the Anita Sarkeesian. What's going on?
Anita Sarkeesian, she started a Kickstarter. Now, this was about a year ago, wasn't it? It's about a year ago.
Probably right. I mean, ignore the Kickstarter. What she done initially, she came out with a video about...
No, but this is what the Kickstarter was for. It was initially, she raised over $30,000 on a Kickstarter to get... like this Tropes versus Gamer series made. She said that it was going to be upgraded facilities. She's going to have to do all this research. She's going to have to buy the games and play them in order to get the series off the ground. Now, she raised a lot of money. I think it was, she was asking initially for 30.
No, she's asking for $6,000 and she got like 150.
Yeah. And now the big thing about it was, she then said that she was going to put this out on schools. She wanted to make this like a thing for education. And what she did automatically when she did these videos was she never left any debate open. What she did was she disabled her comment section off the bat. So she wouldn't allow anybody to comment on her videos.
Wow.
And secondly, she used the basis of like feministic opinions, in a sense, of feminism to point out certain things that were going on in these games, and then started trashing them. And I mean big time trashing these games. So, myself, as a father, I did a video on this, talking about the fact that I found it appalling, and that I don't want, misinformation like this going into schools, because I don't want people like my kids like my daughters to sit down and listen to garbage. I think, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of Sarkeesian's opinion, it is garbage. If you talk about feminism is supposed to breathe equality, and it's supposed to be about men and women getting an equal place with men, and in the end of the day, that's what it's supposed to be. What Sarkeesian wants, and what a lot of people like her want.
Is she a feminazi?
Yes, in the level.
I didn't even realise there's a term for that.
There is a term.
Yes, it's a feminazi.
It's extreme feminism, in a sense. And she wants, basically, to the point where men, anything that she feels is a boys' club, like she trolled the internet, extremely hard, and then went out of her way to go on CNN and try and say that these people were attacking her for no reason. That gaming was a boys' club, and because she revealed something about that, that's the reason why she was being attacked. And I remember so vividly, the reporter, who was a woman as well, basically just pointed out, are you familiar with the term, don't feed the trolls?
Right.
And Sarkeesian went on her rant still, and she's continued to do this. She's apparently only released 7 videos since the inception of this thing, because of the fact that she was supposed to be releasing a video every week on this.
Right.
She has a lot of support from like extreme feminists and men who just want to shag her, because as far as I'm concerned, any guy that's 100% behind her in that sense has either no clue, you've been living under a cardboard box for the rest of your life, or a big cave, or you've basically just want to say, oh, I believe in you, Anita, because your girlfriend probably wants to have sex with you if you say that. These are the worst kinds of feminists, because I've grown up with these type of feminists. I had a teacher of mine who was this kind of feminist, who would sit there, show her a little bit of flesh to people, come out in shortcut tops, and then say to any guy that even makes a comment, if you make a comment, I am going to basically have you suspended. At the end of the day, equality works in both ways. You can't say that women can keep things like being the stay-at-home parent, or women have the right to the children to be the mother, the person at home with the kids when they're out going to work and the father's staying at home. Rights need to be equal. And the fact that Joss Whedon retweeted her and is promoting her is dangerous, because she's going to get a wider coverage. And as you've said as well, and as Miguel Leon has actually stated, he's untouchable. He can say what he wants.
Right.
The guy who's just done, he did the Avengers, which is a $1 billion movie. He's going to be doing the Avengers 2, which is another $1 billion movie. So it's a big thing here. So, I'm getting on the serious level. What do you think about this, Jamie? Being a woman, do you think that Sarkeesian has a right to be trashing gaming in a sense the way that she has been?
Okay, well, here's my opinion on it. Of course, I'm a feminist, but I'm not a feminazi, okay? To me, it's like Burhan said, if you want men and women to be equal, it's about equality. Yeah. It's like the same with LGBT rights. Just because, if I was a lesbian, just because I like the same gender as me, does not mean that you can put me down. If I'm pansexual, just because I like anything, does not mean that you can call me a slut, does not mean that you can do anything. If I was bisexual, it does not mean that you can look at me and go, oh, you're bisexual, that means that you like a boy and a girl at the same time, right? No, fuck you. Just because I have an ovaries and a uterus does not mean that I cannot play video games, I cannot bind my breasts if I want to, I cannot get rid of my breasts if I want to. I am a woman. But I am a human.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing here.
But the only thing is, another thing to comment is if I wear a top that shows my breasts, you cannot comment about that in a sexual way. You can say, wow, you look good today. Awesome, thank you. That would be like a guy wearing a tight pair of pants, and be walking up and be like, man, your dick looks fantastic.
Well, say that. Xander tells me that all the time, and he's lying.
Well, it's sexual harassment almost. We have to fear walking down the street in a low-cut top. I went to Sing It or Wing It a few weeks ago, and that's basically like a karaoke place, and at 9 o'clock they kind of shut it down to where it's 21 and up only. But we went there before 9 o'clock with some friends, and I was wearing a long, billowy skirt that went down past my knees. I was wearing heels. It was kind of like a cosplay thing. I was doing like a casual Sailor Neptune. And I had a long black skirt and a rose top that was a tank top. And I will admit, it does flatter my upper body. I was running from the curb to the door because it was raining and Colin had to go park the car. And I actually had someone yell, run, baby, run, at me. And I wasn't even wearing anything revealing. We have to fear in our own clothing. If we wear sweaters and, like, loose jeans, then it's like, oh God, why don't you wear something attractive? If we wear something attractive, then we get harassed. If we wear something where our skin shows, then we're sluts. I think that we should all be equal. Just because I have a vagina does not mean that I cannot play video games. And for her to go about and trash these video games because of what she thinks are like bad tropes, that's horrible. If I do a video game review, which I have a few set up now that I know that Mac edits a lot better than Windows, even though that's horrible for me to say because I'm a Windows person, if I do see a negative female trope, yes, I will talk about it, but I will not bash the game on it because there's so much more that goes into video games than just females, and I understand that.
Xander, what's your opinion on this? Do you think that Josh Whedon's basically only seen one side of the story on this, or he's just out of the way promoting someone?
Yeah, it's so funny that how society even bleeds into stuff like video games. Because I mean, it is. I can see where a lot of women can get really upset about certain things like cosplay or even the hobby itself, because you just have like this, I don't know if it's like a boys club mentality or what it is, but it's like you just have the group of guys that, I guess because they never really had a girlfriend, and I don't want to sound stereotypical, but they don't like women, and they act like that they're invading our hobby or something like, cause you'll get a girl that will, post a collection video or post a picture of a video game she's playing. And it's like, you always have like that, you have two kinds of guys. I mean, you normally have three guys. You have the one guy that doesn't really give a shit. That's me. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know? But then you have two other guys. You have either the guy that's, very, very, like, ego stroking, in the sense that, you know, he's like, oh my god, I want you to marry me. You play video games. And then you have the other guys that are just fucking creepy.
Right.
Or you got the guys that give them, trivia. You know, it's like some girl's like, hey, I got Final Fantasy 3. And he's just like, don't you mean in Japan it's actually Final Fantasy 6? It's like, dude,
Right.
get a hold of yourself. You know, it's like, it's just so funny. I see it so much. I've seen it more and more since I've joined the gaming community, and I've been doing podcasting and networking with my YouTube channel and being on all these different group pages. I mean, like me and Burhan, we were, you know, the administrators on the Happy Console Gamer Facebook group page.
Which
And I actually had to,
but you know.
yeah, but I mean, I ended up having to ban someone because this chick just posted a video of her Nintendo Power collection, and he's just like, hey, boobs, what's up? I'm like, what the fuck, man? So I had to boot his ass. I mean, like, why? Why do that?
I've actually encountered pretty much everyone that Xander just talked about. I was at Carnuga this year, and there was someone, I was cosplaying Jill Valentine, and my boyfriend was Wesker. And this guy, it was a general consensus from around, like, the anime club that he was just the sexist douche, right? And so we're sitting around, and we were talking about Resident Evil, and he starts like, oh, well, what do you think about this then? Well, actually, it's about this. Well, actually, if this happened right here, and I just owned his ass. I was like, excuse you, that's not what happened. This is what happened. And I just started owning his ass because he decided that I needed trivia to decide that if I was a true Resident Evil fan or not. And obviously I was just in the Resident Evil fandom because I thought that Wesker was attractive, and I'm like, you know what, buddy, fuck you. You can suck my imaginary 8-inch on dick.
But that's the thing here. In terms of what Sarkeesian is playing, do you think that she has valid points in terms of what she's trying to say here, or do you think she's basically trolling the internet and using feminism as a way for her to make money? Because behind the scenes, there's a lot of issues that I have with her in terms of, one, the way that she's gone about the Kickstarter and the videos, and that she's stealing information from other YouTubers, like Let's Play videos, and not crediting anybody. And two, the fact that Sarkeesian's basically putting across a very negative feminist stereotype, in a sense, that she's throwing gaming under the bus, and she's calling it a boys' club. She's using all these terms that a lot of, and again, I agree on Jamie's standpoint here that a lot of girls do have to suffer with, but I don't think Sarkeesian's one of them. And she's even gone out of her way to say that she's not really a gamer.
Then why do it?
Because she knows that she's going to get trolled hard, and it's going to make her a ton of money because she gets to go on the news shows. She gets to report on this. She gets to be the person. At the moment, she's leading the charge in all of this ridiculousness. You know, in feminazism, Sarkeesian's the person to go to. Do you know, did you read the story that happened last week? It's a story that's come up on the Pixels Without Borders podcast. This week they're going to be talking about it as well. And let me talk about this a little bit, because it's leading on. We did talk about this last week a little bit with Damien and with Oliver here. Let's see if I can find it.
This game sounds a bit frustrating.
There's basically a game designer by the name of Zoe Quinn, who designed a game, basically. Now, what happened was, there's two sides to the story. One is the fact that she, again, is using the whole thing of her being a girl as a way, like, that gamers are basically, like, you know, having a go at her and all this and that. Now, basically the gaming community they unleashed a stream of vitriol and harassment against feminist gamer Zoe Quinn, thanks to a tell-all blog post made by her jilted ex-boyfriend. The allegations made by Quinn's ex have brought about on the internet maelstrom, a sustained campaign of harassment against Quinn and her family, and a widespread accusation of gamers. Quinn's alleged personal relationships and sign of corruption in the gaming industry. Now, this guy went out and published a blog with photos talking about the fact that Zoe Quinn has had relationships with journalists from different game magazines and gaming websites, including Kotaku, basically to give her game a positive reception. And what she did, though, she went and did something extremely stupid. She went out and lied. So you could understand that there was empathy there. I felt empathy until I found out that she basically stated that her Twitter was hacked. And she pointed the finger at the 4chan forums. So what 4chan do? They disproved her, and then they decided, well, you know what? We're gonna basically now go on the attack, which is what they've done. They've even gone and started a 4chan group where they're trying to get corruption out of gaming journalism, and then we talked about that side. And now, basically, there's a lot more.
Was that the same girl that got robbed for her wallet and purse, but not her iPhone?
When was this?
I recall that she, I read something a while ago, I'm not sure if it's the same person, that she had claimed, people were saying it was shaky, that she claimed she was robbed, and they took her purse and her wallet, and they took everything, and she was asking for assistance, for like money donations because of that. And I'm not against that kind of thing. But again, there was a lot more information that kind of gave it a shady aura to it. I don't know the facts.
I don't know if that's her, but I know that she did, apparently, allegedly, she was supposed to go out in public with Anita Sarkeesian, detailing the fact that she said that she was beaten up by a bunch of gamers, and that they were going to denounce the term gamer. Now, this is, again, it's all rumour. It's not, none of this has sort of come to light. But the whole issue, the fact is, right, if she did or didn't trade herself for sexual favours with these journalists, it's not her that's the problem. That's the journalists. That, if you really believe pussy is going to get you somewhere, you're going to get a lot of pussy because you're a gaming journalist, then you're really in the wrong line of work. It's the thing about exchanging good reviews for sexual favours, for me, is an issue. I have that very, very big issue in terms of stuff like that.
No one will give you.
Yeah, the fact no one will give me sexual favours. I think you do, but you don't ask for anything. That's my opinion. But in terms of her singling out 4chan and trying to go on the attack and saying that people are hacking her Twitter and attacking her, this is where the problem is. The sympathy thing that she's trying, and the sympathy thing that I feel that Anita Sarkeesian tries as well. As I said, she went on CNN, started attacking people, saying that people were, being unfair to her. Yet, 1 minute, she keeps pointing out this flash game someone made of people being able to, you click on her face and you can show bruises on her face and that she's being attacked and stuff like that. And yet she'll approve and retweet a picture of herself killing a male game developer. That's the problem. The whole thing about equality is it works both ways. If you believe that people are attacking you, and that people are attacking you for doing something that you don't feel was wrong, and then you're going and doing that same thing to someone else,
you're a hypocrite.
Yeah, you're a fucking hypocrite.
And that's what leads back to my point here. Josh Whedon's basically sitting down singling gamers. I don't think he's picked up a pad in his life. Probably has. Never know. But yet he makes films of the same nature. Doesn't that make him a hypocrite?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. What's your 2 cents on this?
Everybody has their own motives, and I gotta tell you, it kind of scares me, but I'm probably a feminist worst nightmare. And I don't think that's a bad thing.
But is it a feminist or a feminazi? Because there's a difference. I know, like, even Kevin Smith was saying his wife's a feminist.
We'll see.
His wife
the same
basically
thing.
married him, and the way he points out, he's a fat blob he tells tons of sex jokes. There's a difference, and I think a real feminist is someone that believes in equality and doesn't discriminate. And the extreme feminism that people like Sarkeesian are showing, that's not feminism. To me, that's taking it to a whole new level. That's like, Islam and extremists. You can't have one way and then believe another way, because in the end, if they're trying to basically take the gaming industry and they, in their mind, create a revolution. But what about these women that are basically being treated like shit in their own countries, or being put to death because they were raped? And I hate to put this on a bad tone here, but if you're targeting, the reason why Sarkeesian's targeting gamers is because she knows that she can get a rise. She knows what she's doing. This is a publicity campaign.
I agree with that.
And, Josh Weston, the fact that he's basically doing this now, to me, it seems like he's doing it because he was given the information by either one of his assistants or someone who believes in Sarkeesian, and he's pandering to that fanfare. And, and he is someone who builds strong female characters. He's done it with Buffy. But I feel that the same tropes that Sarkeesian was discussing are in his movies. A great video on YouTube was talking about this, how they lace Sarkeesian's voice track over clips shown from his videos, and it's the same thing. The fact that you go on about she was talking about the trope of the woman, the aggressive woman, the one who basically goes in and fights with men. She talks about the damsel in distress, the one who needs saving by males.
Like Dolly Parton's movie 9 to 5?
Yeah, and you look at as well the idioms of the whole the female who gets killed by a violent creature. Cabin in the Woods was produced by Joss Whedon. And all those tropes are in there, and the fact that he's sitting there trying to damn gamers at the moment, and the thing is, I don't think he knowingly knows that what he's doing, but at the same level, he's an intelligent guy, and he's someone that has a lot of pull to gamers, nerds, to comic book fans, to everyone. And as soon as he says something and starts to show support for someone, that's going to stick, and good or bad, whatever feedback that person's going to get, he's going to be the guy who ends up, bearing the brunt of that.
Right, and another thing is, I don't see why why they're downing every single female trope that's not strong. What about all the male tropes that aren't strong? What about all the non-gender binary tropes that are not strong?
Yeah.
It's like, you can look at, The Last of Us, Ellie. She was strong. She was brave. She's a beautiful, strong female character. And I like that. But you can also take a look at Watch Dogs and, the bad boy whatever.
Oh, we've played through Watch Dogs, haven't we, Ollie?
Yes.
And some.
The girl, bad boy, whatever.
Yeah.
She was a strong female character until you met her and you found out she was female, and then she automatically needed your help.
Oh god, the worst part about we discussed this as well, and how the Aiden Pierce and that actually does segue into another little bit of news that we can talk about in a little bit. So what, Xander, what's your opinion on this entire thing? Do you think that Whedon's support is going to bring her a lot more fan base and it's going to make a lot more noise for her?
I think it's going to be one of those things that she's going to fuck up somehow. She's going to do something stupid, and because that's the thing. Those kind of people that crave controversial subjects and stuff like that, they'll get big and they'll have a rise or something like that. But something always happens that ends up turning around, bites them in the ass. So I say give it another maybe year and a half, and something will happen. Something maybe something completely unrelated, she fucking gets in trouble with a DUI or something. That shit happens to everyone. So not DUIs, but karma. So yeah. Yeah,
but that's the thing. At the end of the day, people were looking, and me as a fellow gamer here, I was looking for, I always look for stuff that I don't not necessarily supports the gaming industry, but stuff that's basically talks about it. I understand. Being an actor myself, I look at theatre theory, so I look at feminism, I look at queer theory, I look at and by the way, that is actually a term. I look at Marxism. I look at basically the way that economics works in terms of why theatre is produced, because it's all relevant. All this is relevant, but at the same level. The moment you have somebody it's like basically having Hitler and calling him one of the all-time greatest politicians in the world.
He was.
But, it's like outspokenly doing it. He took something that was a big thing at the time, and he then used it. He was in Times Magazine, wasn't he? He was rated like Man of the Year at one point.
Yeah, he was a...
Wait, what?
That's one of the questions I actually used to find out whether people are going to be compatible with me. So, what do you think of Hitler as a leader?
He wasn't always evil.
No, even though the fact that he's evil...
Well, he was evil, but the fact is that...
He was evil.
He was a good leader.
Yeah, he managed to turn the economic status of Germany around, and that's why he was given the Man of the Year from Time. But this is before they decided to invade everybody and kill... like millions and millions of people. The fact is, though, in history, he's always going to be remembered as that guy. And Sarkeesian's trying to rope herself at the moment as someone who wants to lead, like, feminism. And I think that the problem is feminism is going to be known for people like Sarkeesian instead of being known what it's supposed to be known for, which is to basically bring out the stronger woman and to kind of ascertain that you're going to want equality, and break that barrier between male and female demographics, and it's not an us versus them thing, and this is what the problem lies. The whole us versus them doesn't exist.
That takes me back to what I was saying before about me kind of being the enemy of feminists, and I do think that whenever you try to categorize something, for example, feminist and feminist Nazi, whenever you categorize a single entity into two different categories, you're kind of like overcomplicating the situation. Now, not to say I'm against feminism, but then again, I'm the type of person who believes in equality for all across the board.
Of course.
Like, full respect for female, full respect for every individual on the planet, animal and human alike. But whenever you go down and say, okay, there's, Muslim extremists, my favorite example is there's Christians and then there's the Westboro Baptist Church.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Is the Westboro Baptist Church still Christians? Yes, they are. So a feminazi is still a feminist. So feminist is not necessarily a good thing. Now, again, all people should fight for the women who aren't treated like unequal and beaten and subverted in other countries. Even in America, it happens, and there's a lot of that stuff. Everybody should be against that. There shouldn't be a group of individuals who want to fight for what is right. That's the problem today. Nobody wants to fight for what's right. They want to pick a side.
Yeah.
So, whenever you start breaking the things up and then all of a sudden there's abuse. There's Christianity, and then there's the Westboro Baptist Church. There's feminists doing things and helping and putting up abuse shelters and helping women who are struggling. And then there's women who go and do this shit on Twitter. And honestly, in reading a lot of these stories, it really saddens me because it feels like the gaming industry is turning into like the cool guy clique, to where like I'm friends with the football coach or the quarterback. I'm going to call him up. You fucked with the wrong person.
I was going to say, if anything, I feel like the gaming industry is turning into TMZ.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
It's because it's the new thing, it's not necessarily new, but it's the new cool thing. Everyone wants to be a gamer now. Even people who don't know what gaming is want to be a part of it. And everyone thinks that they can talk on it. And for me, as I said, me and Xander had this conversation about basically collectors versus gamers quite recently. And I said to Xander, I call myself a gamer. I'm not a collector. Everything I own, every game, every console, I have like a ColecoVision. That was mine from when my dad was younger. You know, when my dad bought it, my dad played those games with us. My foray into gaming came from when I was a little kid. It didn't come because I wanted to go and collect stuff. My ColecoVision isn't mint in box. My ColecoVision has got wires sticking out of it and has been played to death. You know, I have copies of Mr. Do that have been like pulled apart by me and my brothers when we were little. I have like a copy of Donkey Kong for the Coleco. I have my Atari adapter, which is hilarious because the fact is Atari took these guys to court and sued them over the bloody thing and they still won. You know, it's fun stuff like that, and it's basically, but gaming is about stories and about enjoying something that has been with you throughout your life. If you've just come to get into it because you want to make money or you feel that your collection is better than someone else for bragging rights, then I feel sorry for you. You know, and I know you agree with me on this, don't you, Zan? It's silliness. The amount, I remember recently, and I talked about this on an episode of X's Gaming Podcast that never aired, but, you know, Xander was having a kind of a moment on Facebook, and me and him, and I commented on status, and then this prick came on his status and asked him about a price of a game and what his value was, without acknowledging what the fuck he was talking about. Right?
Yeah.
And
oh my god, man. It pissed me off so much. I was like, really? Are you really wanting to talk about prices of video games right now?
Yeah. And I basically ripped him to shreds, and he was like going to me, "You're the one being an asshole." And I was like, dude, are you seriously going on someone's Facebook? He's allowed you to be his friend. You're going on his Facebook asking him how much his game costs. I said, if it matters to you, if you want to play this game, price is no option. You know, if you can't afford it now, you'll eventually afford it some other time.
That's my thing too. And I remember I mentioned it on that show, and I think when we redid the recording, I think I mentioned it on there, and I've mentioned it here before that, yeah, if you add me on Facebook, man, like, I love talking to people about video games, that's cool, but I am not eBay, I'm not Amazon, I'm not Price.com. You know, if you're gonna ask me, is this a good deal? I'll always say yes, even if it's personally not a good deal for me. I'm always going to say yes because it's not my money. I don't give a shit. I mean, do you? Right. I don't get messages of people asking me about their bills. So what's the difference? I'm not a consultant with financial advantage. Right. You know, it's like screw it.
I get the same thing with like cosplay. Like, I don't mind helping my friends out, but like they're always like, "Man, where do I get a wig like this?" eBay. "Where did you get this wig?" eBay. "Well, where can I find a wig like it?" eBay. "Well, where can I find a really good cheap wig?" eBay.
Steve Benway made a point of this, and it's the one thing I asked him when I interviewed him was, if you can find out on Google, and if Benway can Google your question, right, and get the answer to it on Google, then you might as well just go and look on Google because he won't reply to it. And that's his thing. And it's the same thing. If you can find the price of your game on eBay, if you can Google it and find out how much this game's worth, don't ask people because it pisses them off. You know, I know there's a lot of close gamer friends of mine, and guys who host YouTube shows that I'm friends with, who get pissed off when you mention this shit to them. They don't like it. Robman has said it like a dozen times. Stop talking about the price of fucking games. And people still do it. It's weird ass. You were going to say something?
No.
Oh, okay.
This whole subject hits really close to home because there was a recent article on Facebook in one of the groups I'm in. And it was basically an article discussing how gamers are giving themselves a bad name or a bad reputation by complaining about, quote, resellers. The people who don't play games, who just buy it here or buy a product and move it and sell it. And, you know, the argument, he really tried to make it that, oh, you know, it's capitalism, it's a free market, you're allowed to do whatever you want. But the whole basis for it was, are gamers giving themselves a bad name by, you know, complaining about this, by having negative things to say? And, it really hurts. It really does. Being someone who grew up with the games, and it's funny how you discuss that, Michael, because I say I'm a collector, however, I just have the games that I played, and, they're not like mint in box or anything. I play my games.
Yeah, you play them, right? So
yes, I have a vast number of games.
Yeah, you game.
I game, and
it's the same thing. I don't think you buy. You don't buy to collect, do you? You buy to play. And the time you're renting, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I will happily rent a game, like The Last of Us. I played that recently because I was like, it's too expensive for me to buy, so I'm going to rent it, what it's like. Really enjoyed it, but...
And that's the thing as well, GameStop and Game and resellers are guilty of this, because GTA 5 is still like £17 over here. And that because it's a popular game, they'll keep the price high.
Yeah, because I asked them how they judge the prices, and it's how many copies they have. So if they have a lot of copies, they drop the price. If they don't have many copies, they keep they put it up.
Yeah.
My favorite example of that is Earthbound. The last decade, Earthbound has skyrocketed to astronomical prices, but the fact of the matter is, Earthbound is not a rare game.
I know it isn't, but it's big because of YouTube channels.
It was hyped.
Yeah, it was hyped a lot, and that's the thing. The Angry Video Game Nerd kind of started it with Cheetah Man. And a lot of gaming YouTubers. I'm not blaming the YouTubers because we all do it. If we like a game, we're going to talk about it. But the thing is, these guys, they see the price. Now, I remember watching the one thing I love about Pat Dennis Punk. He doesn't do it much anymore, but the Flea Market Madness.
I love that guy.
He tends not to go with certain people who, if the guy's going to check on his phone how much a game costs, he's going to stay clear of it. So he'll ask them, and the guy gets on his phone and he checks eBay. You have shops that do it as well, and it turns me off as well. I've been in a shop once, the guy starts checking eBay for the price. I was like, look, if you haven't got it marked, and you're checking on eBay for the price, forget it. Because you're gonna charge me a huge sum for it, and I'm gonna get it somewhere else. So I'll wait. And I've been to some stalls, and again, Play Expo, gonna freaking hype the shit out of them. They had some great, sellers who won't hype the price of the game. They just went, you know what? We're not here to make, a huge profit on these games. We want to sell them and we want them to go to a good home. And that's what gaming is to me. It's a story. Each and every part of gaming is stories. It's about the journey that you have with this game. And that's the big thing. And the moment all this bullshit has been going on, the amount of negativity that gaming has received from people pisses me off, because everyone, even people who are not associated with this, are getting their 2 cents in because they think they know what the fuck they're talking about. And that's what bothers me.
I agree.
And what we'll do, we'll move on to the next topic in a minute, and it's going to be about Watch Dogs. What do you think, Xander? What do you think about this?
Well, I mean, I made a video, not too long ago, actually, where it was a discussion video where I was asking what collecting meant for you, and I talked about mine, and I've never really considered myself, a collector. I've always considered myself as just someone who loves video games, because I never woke up one morning and was like, you know what, I want to collect every single game ever made. I never had that assumption. When I bought games, I never got rid of them. I mean, I've got systems I've had since I was, 7 years old. That's over 20 years now, and they still work fine. I've always held on to it. I don't know. I think it's just one of those things that, some people, honestly, I think some people take it a little too seriously, like the collecting and stuff like that. And 9 times out of 10, those people usually get burnt out just because they get so wrapped up into wanting to fill up a bookshelf and get their egos stroked on a freaking Facebook group page. And that's kind of not what it is, man. I can understand if you want to collect because you want to preserve something, you want to make like a little, I guess, a museum or something like that. There's really no wrong or right way to collect video games, but keep in mind they are video games. Have fun with them. Buy games that you want to play. That's my thing. I buy games I want to play. Do I want to play Coloring with Dinosaurs on the NES? Fuck no. Even though that's an uncommon, rare game, whoopie fucking do. I don't want to play it. So you know what? It's not on my agenda for games I want. I'd rather have like Ys Books 1 and 2 on the TurboGrafx. You know?
So I recently went through Ys 3 on Super Nintendo. Awesome.
Oh, fantastic
game.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, and that's the thing that people I don't think get anymore, because it's become pop culture. It's become something that's mainstream. Everybody wants to do it now, so everyone has an opinion. And the thing that bugged me about this, and as I've stated before, I try, and I always try to be the most truthful person out there in terms of the way I live my life. I live it with values. I have understanding on what I believe is right from wrong. And I'm never going to comment someone and sit there and go, well, you're doing life wrong because you're an idiot. No, I'm just going to sit there and go, you know what? You love something. I remember someone was talking to me about horror magazines and horror films and stuff. And I went, I've watched a few horror movies, but that's not my speciality. That's not my thing. And I think the person got upset with me about it as well, actually. Unfriended me over it. But that's the thing. It's not my thing. I can't sit there and go, oh my god, I own every single horror magazine known to man. If that's your thing, awesome. But the moment someone sits there and tries to take away my credibility and sits there and judges me based on the games that I play or what I do, or tries to even ask me how much something costs because they want to know, how many millions this game is going to sell for, it bugs me. And we did have a guest on here who even talked about the fact that it bugged him because he sold off his entire Mega Man collection. Do you remember Booch, Xander?
Yeah. Yeah, and I was going to mention one other thing too that really pissed me off one time it was in a Facebook post about collecting, and I remember this one person was talking about, he was saying how big of a collector he was, and he was talking about how, cause the post was about someone that got burnt out that, decided to quit collecting for a little bit, which is fine. Everyone has those moments. But he was like, yeah, it comes that time where, you got the real collectors and you got the wannabe collectors. I'm like, wait. There's actually a term for wannabe collectors? That's actually a thing? It's like, and then he was like, well, it's, kind of like a secret club, either you're in it or not. I'm like, dude, these are fucking video games, not the Freemasons. Get a hold of yourself.
You know what I mean?
Last week I watched somebody purchase the cardboard box to Evo for Super Nintendo for $150. I guess that's one of those wannabes. Yeah. Like Evo, don't get me, that game is not phenomenal. It's not a bad game. It's a very unique title, but it's a $20 game. I mean, come on now. I'm gonna go eat plankton and grow my dorsal fin.
And that's the thing. It's one of those things where it's become bigger to the fact that now everybody's in on it. And it has become something that's been corrupted. Gaming journalists no longer do it for the love of gaming. They do it for the money. Everyone wants to make a statement and sit there and talk shit about a game, in order to get the trolls or to make money off of, off of things like monetization and Kotaku and Machinima. And fine, if you're passionate about it and you're talking about it like we're doing here, then it's great. If you're basically sitting in there and you just want to weigh your 2 cents in to bait the trolls and to talk shit, then seriously, you're in the wrong line of work, because gaming is not a volatile market. Reselling games is a fucking hobby at best. And anybody who thinks that they want to chime themselves in, get into the whole thing and use gamers as a way to piss people off because they want to shit on something, then you know what? I ain't got no time for you. That's my 2 cents on the matter. Now, let's move on to our next thing. Apparently, Aiden Pierce may not be the next protagonist for Watch Dogs 2, as people have had an issue relating to the character.
Wonder why.
Fucking dickhead.
Now,
Oh my god, I almost choked on my water from just the very silent murmuring of fucking dickhead. Oh my god.
Well, I'm meant to be impartial.
The thing is, me and Ollie have played through this game, and we know what our opinion on Aiden Pierce is. There's a lot of big issues in terms of his character. Now,
There is.
let's start with you, Jamie. What did you find because I know you watched our playthroughs.
Yes.
What did you find in terms of Aiden? Why do you think he's so unrelatable?
Because he's not a character. He's like a 2D cardboard cutout. He has no specific characteristics. Like, it's kind of like my boyfriend describing Nicolas Cage acting. He would say, Nicolas Cage is a refrigerator. You reach in, he's like, oh, today I need to be milk. Reaches in, pulls out milk. Oh, well, today I need to be ketchup. Reaches in, pulls out ketchup. Like, I don't think that. I like Nicolas Cage. But anyway, he's such a 2D character. He's just a cardboard cutout of what a character could have been. It seems like, to me, they got 3/4 of the way done with the game and said, oh, we don't like this anymore. We're going to completely redo it, but don't change anything. Like, to me, that's what it seems like, because there's a lot of things that don't fit. Especially the sister relationship.
Oh.
Yeah, and that kind of coined the term with me and Ollie, incesty molesty.
Yeah, that's a little incesty.
Yeah, very incesty. And the fact is, I think Ubisoft, in order to get the game across and get the mechanics across, they kind of killed every aspect of Aiden Pierce as a main character. And secondly, you could tell the story was rushed, wasn't it? It was just terrible.
It was, right.
Yeah, and
That's what's really bad shame, because it was a good concept.
very good concept.
Right.
And the mechanics were really good. Well, the fighting mechanics was, the driving was fucking piss poor.
Yeah. And and basically it relied too much on the hacking mechanic, which only had like 3 levels to it, you know? And they tried padding out the game, and hence was the problem. And we were talking about this to the point where you had all these stupid little situations happening, and then at the end, they gave you a choice. And Ollie was going to me, well, after all the shit that they've done, like after everything that they've made you do in this game, now they're giving you a fucking choice?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, you've murdered innocent people just because you didn't like them.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't agree. I mean, the people he killed, they're not nice people, but doesn't really have the authority to judge.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it's all about, oh yeah, no. Now I'm going to decide whether
or
now
not.
it's about morals.
Yeah.
Now it's about morals.
And that's what he went to me. He was like going, well, now it's about, no, you're going to pull that trigger and you're going to shoot, because the game's basically made your decision for you before this even came up to the, before this even happened.
Well, the game started by the execution scene.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the thing. You look at that and you think, what, you're wondering why he's unfriendly. Xander, what's your opinion on this? Because, have you Watch Dogs? Have you?
Who made Watch Dogs?
Ubisoft.
Yeah, fuck Ubisoft. I'm not saying that piece of shit.
Yes, fuck Ubisoft. I like how everyone's like,
You guys know me. I don't support Ubisoft, so I haven't played it.
Wasn't it Ubisoft who was like, oh, well, we have problems making female characters, or whatever? Wasn't it Ubisoft?
Yeah, it was them.
They were like, oh, well, females are harder to animate. Oh, yeah, man, I know, that slight boob jiggle, oh, it'll throw you off, man.
Hey, go speak to the Dead or Alive creators.
Oh my god, no, boobs do not move that way. Boobs do not move that way. I own a pair, and I'm here to tell you, they don't do that.
Do you mean that DOA Extreme Beach Volleyball lied to me?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Jamie, we need to rename you Shaniqua, because that was hilarious.
Shaniqua, yeah.
Yeah.
Boobs don't do that.
Boobs don't do that.
They do in the gaming world.
So, Lee, what about you?
Do an anime.
Yeah.
What's your opinion of the whole thing? Have you played Watch Dogs?
No, I have not played Watch Dogs.
Have you seen any Let's Plays? Because the character it's hilariously bad, because...
I'm going to have to go look into it now, because this all sounds very interesting. And
watch our Let's Play.
Yeah, you should watch...
Yeah, don't buy the game. Don't
YouTube
buy the game.
// genius. But the thing is, the game has sold like excessive amounts.
It was uber hyped.
Yeah.
It was mad.
I was to say, I went to MomoCon like back in April or May, and everyone was about Watch Dogs. There were people wearing the Watch Dog lanyards, people wearing the Watch Dog shirts. They were hyping about Watch Dogs. I'm like, the fuck is Watch Dogs? And so I get back a few weeks later, like the Rad Brad posted up a video of it because he got it early. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, let's watch this really cool, awesome game about hacking and shit. And I watch it, and I'm like, alright, let's never ever watch this again. Bye, beep, boop, delete, bye.
Nothing ever interested me about the game.
The thing is, I wanted to get the PS4 based solely on that game, because I wanted to play it in high quality. One, the game was basically still had last gen graphics, you know.
Right.
Two, the storyline and the fact that it freaked me and Ollie out, the fact that they had to keep saying, you're my brother and you're my sister, even though they were touching each other in ways that most brothers and sisters wouldn't touch each other.
Well,
Like in,
some in like Southern America might.
Yeah, and...
well.
Not too stereotypes or anything.
You know,
No, that's some, Alabama shit. So...
Hey, whatever it is.
it makes me laugh, and the fact that they did that, it's not Aiden Pierce that's the problem with Watch Dogs. It's Watch Dogs in general.
I was just saying, it's Watch Dogs.
Yeah. And, you know, there was even that scene that made us really uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, there was that really, I mean...
The sex trade scene.
What?
There's a, like, sex trafficking scene.
Oh.
And it's uncomfortably, it's not
They
like...
just throw it in there. There was no reason for it to be there, and then bam, it's there.
And you have to sit there and focus on these women being sold. Has anyone seen the film Taken?
Yes.
You know, right at the end, there's those women kind of in that little round room, and they're all kind of bidding. That's exactly what it's like.
Yeah, and
Oh
it's
my
like,
God.
they made a point to point out this guy was a father, and he's waiting for he's got a 2-year-old, and he's waiting for his wife to come home.
You hack his phone, and it says like, oh, I'm just coming home, darling, I'm just stuck in an office. And it said underneath, like, father of 2.
Yeah.
A newborn coming or something. It's like,
Was the scene more uncomfortable than the scene where you torture somebody as Trevor in GTA?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was more uncomfortable than that.
That disturbed me.
It was basically, but that scene was kind of an established scene for Trevor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
that he was a psychopath.
Yeah, I like that because it showed how far Trevor was willing to go.
Yeah. Where
I didn't like it.
This scene was kind of uncomfortable because it was thrown in there. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
It didn't add anything.
yeah, it's like you're walking it's like, say Ollie's walking through my house and then one day he opens up a door and it's a sex dungeon. And he's just like, what the fuck?
I've done that.
But you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck? And then there's a guy.
How much?
There's a guy sitting there with a ball in his mouth or something, and it's like, dude.
Right.
You know,
2 for $5.
It takes you, the game, in comparison, there was no need, there was nothing that led up to the fact that this was going to happen. It just appeared.
Yeah, and that's the guy you kill in the game without any mercy. The guy who basically has a ticket to this thing, so you kill him and take his place, and it's like, oh, we need to kill him. Why? In case he escapes and blows our cover. It's like, lock him in a room. Like, you have the ability to hack anything. Hack the door.
Right.
Stop it opening. No, we have to kill him.
Yeah, it's like, in order for me to basically prove my cover, I'm going to kill the guy. And you're like, well, really? And a lot of it's the decisions that have been placed and the way that the character was written, and it was really badly. You know, it was a drawn out, badly written character that there was no rhyme or reason why this character even existed, you know, or why this story was even happening. It just was there for the point of being there.
Right.
And thus was where the problem lied. And, you know, in terms of Ubisoft's, lay then. In terms, where the problem lay. In terms of Ubisoft looking at adding another protagonist for Watch Dogs 2, I think they just need to just stop Watch Dogs altogether.
The mechanics they got well. They just need to sort out the story.
Or you know what? Hire a proper storyteller. Get some screenwriters in there. Get someone who's written a great book. Get the guy who wrote freaking Captain America 3. That was a well-told story. Oh, Captain America 2, sorry.
What did I say? There's a 3?
Captain America... Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier. Get that guy in there because, you know, they know how to write a story. This, it wasn't a great story and it was a terribly done, terribly executed game. You had a few good mechanics in it, but altogether, that's the reason why we ripped it apart. I think we got one comment, someone basically trashing us on it, calling us all freaking idiots. But, you know, it's the factor here that lies, you can't compare Aiden to the reason why Watch Dogs was so unliked. The game entirely, as a whole, was the reason people hated Watch Dogs. Now, moving on from that, we'll go over to our last bit of news before we go on to the topic of the Tokyo Game Show. It's been a very newsy show today.
Yes.
Now, Nintendo leaks Smash Bros. Wii U release date. Minecraft Wii U update. Basically, there has been murmurings that it may be released in the Wii U due to the fact that Minecraft has been released quite recently on the PlayStation 3, PS4, Xbox One. You know, and I want to ask people's opinions on this. Xander, what do you think? Would you like to see Minecraft on the Wii U?
I think it would be great on the Wii U. I mean, think about the gamepad and the touch screen and things you can do with that. Will it go on the Wii U? I'm not sure about, because I know the guy behind Minecraft is not a big fan of Nintendo. So
yeah, apparently
I don't know.
Was talking about it because they were saying that Nintendo has kind of had some very bad press as of late with certain game developers. They were talking about how with the Monster Hunter series that relationship's come to the end because apparently Nintendo negated on the deal with that. You know, I don't know the full stories about it, but apparently Nintendo execs have been screwing around with with Capcom on that one. And we're going to get more into Capcom because they've had a big impact for the Tokyo Game Show. And apparently Bayonetta 2 has sold out.
Ooh.
In terms of pre-release. This is for America only. I don't know how it's been here in the UK. But what did you guys think?
Yeah.
It's a big thing. I remember you were talking about this previously, Xander.
Yeah, this was going to be a day one purchase for me, but I'm going to buy it used because I'd rather GameStop make money than Platinum Games right now. Because it's another sense that I'm really pissed off that, the UK is getting a box set and the Americans are not getting a box set. It's another one of those, like, UK's getting it before.
When is
yeah,
it?
We're not.
By the way, when are we getting it?
When are you guys getting it, or what's in it?
You know what? I'm going to pre-order mine now, actually.
Well, see, that's the thing. The thing to me is the reason why I'm so pissed off about it, and I will explain to you guys why. Are you guys familiar with the hashtag Team Platinum?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Oh, well, okay.
well, like, okay, I'll let you guys know, and some of the listeners that don't know about it. Ubisoft made a comment not too long ago that the reason why they haven't really been making any games for the Wii U is because they were saying that the Wii U market doesn't really want mature rated games. That's what they said.
Which is
now fuck you, Ubisoft. But anyway, Platinum Games took wind of this, and they decided that they were gonna, they're making Bayonetta 2, and they're like, you know what, let's prove Ubisoft that they're wrong with the Nintendo market, and let's start a revolution. Bayonetta 2 is a rated M game. It's got a lot of support from Nintendo. Let's make this a high-selling game. And they even were saying that if, they were going to make t-shirts, they had like a new hashtag on Twitter, Team Platinum. This was like a big, middle finger to, modern gaming and all this stuff with stereotypes. But they do this campaign, but then they section off a large market with fucking collector's edition. Now I know some people are like, "Oh, is this a collector's edition?" But it's still not right. Like, even if we were to get the box set and the UK wouldn't, I would think that's not right either. I think if you're gonna take the time to make a box set, it should be available to everyone. Especially if you had this huge campaign and you're trying to make a big scene. You're not doing a good job, because now I'm not even going to buy it new. I'm going to buy it used. So they're not even going to see in the money anyway.
Yeah, it's sold out as well. The first print edition has sold out here in the UK. which is, I should have actually got myself on that one. But it happens, you know, there's not really much else to say about it apart from the fact that Nintendo, and I agree with you, Xander, I think Nintendo as a whole have gotten things wrong. You know, why are the US market being chastised in this way?
I have no idea. I honestly, I have no idea. But if you notice, if you guys go online, every major Nintendo title that's been released since Link Between Worlds has gotten a UK exclusive, and the American market hasn't had any diddly squat. If you look it up.
Yeah, it's out of stock on game as well. Damn, everyone's bought it. It's sold out.
As long as I get the game, I'm happy.
Yeah, man, just wait a month.
The Art of Bayonetta 2 game disc, and Bayonetta game disc as well. Dang. Well, first print edition is gone. This is basically a special edition that predates everything else.
Why do you need that?
I don't need it. I'm just saying I wanted to pre-order it so I can have it in my collection. I've already got the special edition Mario Kart 8. Xander wants to punch me right now. But you know, it does bug me as well, because I think that they could have basically done this for everyone instead of just doing this as a UK release, because it's going to be rare. You know, this ain't going to come out anywhere else.
It's like they don't want money.
Yeah.
Do they have some sort of problem with America? America pissed them off?
I have no idea. That's the thing. I have no idea what it is, but it's bad, because I mean, like, I would message Burhan. It was getting to the point where it was like daily. I'd show him something, and he'd be like, "Oh man, that's awesome!" I'm like, yeah, enjoy it. It's only coming out for the UK. You know?
Yeah. It's a big thing at the moment. I don't know why. It makes me laugh, because the UK and Europe is such a smaller market in comparison. The Hyrule Warriors limited edition pack has sold out as well already. So Nintendo are having a big pre-order, and it's going to be released on 19th of September. Damn, that's big. So there you go, guys. You know, if you're if you're looking to get the Hyrule Warriors special edition pack, not going to happen. If you wanted to get the Bayonetta first print edition pack, that's sold out as well. So it looks like Nintendo are going to have a very, very good set of sales here in the UK. Hopefully this changes. I do hope that this does change. Now, moving on from that, let's move on to our topic of tonight.
Hey, someone didn't get to talk about news. Someone didn't get to talk about news, and it's me.
Don't worry, you know how I feel now.
Okay, sorry, Jamie.
No.
Hit it.
Oh, well, are you sure? Because, I mean, if you want me to talk about news,
Yeah, go for it. Tokyo Game Show is going to be a bit short today. I will say this. I think it's going to be a bit short, so hit it, Jamie. Tell us what news have you got?
Alright, well, I just finished watching the Rad Brad play First Light, the Infamous DLC. And it is fantastic. I love it. It sheds a lot of light on Fetch. And it actually took something from Watch Dogs. She ends up using a girl named Jenny to hack the computer, not the computers, but the cameras in the streets. And you have to use the cameras in the streets to find someone. And they implemented it a lot better than Watch Dogs actually did. And while it seemed like the story itself was fantastic, the missions were a bit redundant. But it's worth getting it to find out more about Fetch. I really love the story. She's really relatable. And I had a lot of fun watching that. So I watched that. They've recently released more about Resident Evil Revelations 2, which is a big thing for the Tokyo topic, so I'll save that for when we actually talk about the topic. I've been watching a lot of people play Five Nights at Freddy's.
What is that?
What is it? Okay, so basically it's like a first-person horror game, and you can't move. All you can do is move the camera, and you are hired as a security guard to work from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. and you're a security guard for Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and at night the animatronics come to life, and all you can do is keep track of the animatronics, and you have to keep the power on. You only have 100% power, and it will steadily go down if you close the doors, if you use the lights, if you check the cameras, and you have to make sure the animatronics don't come and find you, because if they find you, you will die, and they will stuff you in a Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, bear suit. And it's terrifying. There's a lot of jump scares. I'm personally horrified of animatronics, so this was terrifying, but I love it. And all you can do is check the cameras. The first level, there's Bonnie and Chica and Freddy and Foxy, and Bonnie and Chica they're normal. They'll go through the rooms, and they'll come to your doorways, and you have to shut the doors. Foxy is in the Pirate Cove. If you don't check the camera too much, Foxy will attack you. If you check it too much, he'll attack you. Freddy himself can teleport and just appear in your face. It's a horrifying game, and I love watching people play it because of the jump scares. They don't think it's going to be as scary as it is, because, it's just animatronics, but the way that they're animated, and because animatronics can just be so fucking creepy, it's hilarious, and it's terrifying. So I've been watching people play that, and I'm like, why do I watch this?
I think you just want to see people's faces, I think.
Most of them don't even have face cam.
Oh, I see. So
I just enjoy it.
Like little babies.
Yes, I do.
For that two girls.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to be not on that whole thing.
No, I mean having to go at what's her face and then
and not to be a hypocrite here.
What's her face and be like, oh no.
I'm trying not to be a hypocrite here, Ollie.
Her face and
Please don't make me a hypocrite. But yeah, it's a big thing in terms of what we've got coming anyway. Have you got any more news for us, Jamie?
Not that I can think of. Most of it's Resident Evil Revelations 2 based, so I'll save that for the actual topic.
Right. Ollie?
I have no news apart from I was trying to play Beyond Two Souls recently, and I found out that that's massively flawed. There's huge things over it. It keeps freezing. There's actual flaw with the game itself, with the programming, which is horrible because it's a massively slight game. Yeah.
The game made a lot of money as well, didn't it? Because it was well hyped.
Beyond Two Souls was I enjoyed watching someone play a little bit of it, but toward the middle of it, I just got bored. So
apparently there's a mod because there's a flaw in the game that someone managed to take advantage of, and you can actually see Ellen Page naked.
Wow.
Yeah, in the game itself, it's just I don't really. I never saw Ellen Page like that.
Because if I remember, that's the one where at eldest she's 16 or 17.
Yeah. But
for most of the game she's prepubescent. So it's that's a little bit
creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. And I can tell what creepy is because I'm called creepy all the time. Anyway, we're gonna basically hit on our break, guys, and we'll be back in a little bit. I've got a song called Peek a Girl on here that we played last week. We're going to play it again because it's freaking hilarious. And after that song kind of concludes, we will get onto our topic of the Tokyo Game Show. So stick with us.
I wish that we were on TV, just like in Pokemon. You'd be a Pika girl in the Poke world, just like would be so fun. I'd be a trainer for...
Hey guys, you've got 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go for your toilet breaks. Cool. And then we get to topic. What everyone think of the show so far?
I'm having fun.
Hey Lee, what did you think? Because I know it's your first show back.
I'm really enjoying myself. We did kind of skew off topic, but I do feel that those are very pertinent topics that need to be discussed, and we need to have an understanding of those things so we can all not only catch whenever there's people doing the bullshit and abusing stuff and giving gamers bad names, but also understand that we're not alone, because it does seem like us, like the true gamers, have become the silent minority in the gaming industry. It's kind of fucking unnerving.
It's what happens with everything. I know, Jamie, I remember when cosplays used to be laughed at.
Right.
It's become the thing, you know, every fucking girl with big tits is basically doing cosplay.
Ooh, Jessica Negri.
Yeah. I heard
I like tits.
I know.
I like tits too, but still.
There's a difference between, like, glamour models and cosplayers, I think.
Yeah, it's like, boobs do not equal cosplay. There are people who will just be like, oh my god, your cosplay is so great, and literally it's just your boobs showing. It's like, meanwhile, somebody has literally put $1,000 and months of their life into a cosplay, if not years of their life, and you can wear something more revealing, and they'll be like, oh my god, your cosplay is fantastic. Thanks, I actually got this at a thrift store, but thank you for making me feel good about, that, huge costume that you never talked to me about yesterday.
It's unfortunate. I have a custom-made cosplay outfit from my character in Final Fantasy XI, and I don't show any boob, so it's...
You're not going to get any... No, you got no one following you now.
I'm excited by this boob.
Wow, that's a really nice pic.
It's my side boob.
Good night, everybody.
Xander, you okay?
Yeah.
Cool.
Just chilling.
It's given us a chance to sort of talk about the little thing that we got an order. You know, it is so funny, man, though. It's like one of the guys just went on his profile for no fucking reason. Was just like, hey, Xander, how much does this game cost?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is give those names of those people to me, and they will cry themselves to sleep that night.
No,
and it's funny. Xander was talking about his video just as I was looking at it queued up on YouTube. I was just catching up. I'm like, damn, I gotta check this one out. I didn't get it yet.
Right?
Yeah, it caused a pretty good buzz for the week. I mean, I think that's where all this collecting shit's been getting so talked about, was that video. It's crazy.
The videos that come from the heart, the passion, those are the best ones.
Yeah, I don't do a vlog unless it's something that's important to me. And when it comes to stuff like that I'm passionate about, those are usually the videos that get the big hits. With most, I've seen some people, they'll just talk about something just for the point of it. It's like, no, you can't do that, man.
Before we jump back, the last thing, like, nobody mentioned in what, I know it's gaming news, but where everyone's aware that there's an asteroid, like, going towards the planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's always one.
Trust me, don't worry about that.
There's always one. Let's go back into the show now, guys. And we are back, talking the Tokyo Game Show. So what we're going to do, guys, is I'm going to point to basically, well, not really point, but more say the name of the host, and each host will go for the Tokyo Game Show news, because I know the Tokyo Game Show itself has had been kind of dominated by Sony and Capcom in terms of releases, because Sony did a pre-release show, which Xander was watching. So Xander, tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it was really interesting because on the Sony press conference, they showed a lot of great Vita stuff, and the Vita's
never does, because the Vita's been underplayed by them.
Yeah, I mean the Vita's kind of just not even existent here in the Western market, but in Japan it's still big, and they were showing a lot of games that were like, man, this almost made me want to get a Vita just to buy imports. But so they showed that, and then they showed a lot of PS4 games. And when they first started out with the PS4 games, it was a yawn fest. And the reason why I say that is because it was a lot of games that we already knew about. And it also made me wonder, I was like, well, maybe this is why the PS4 isn't doing so well in Japan, because there's so many Western style games that they're trying to push on that market. And let's face it, Japan's idea of video games or like the Eastern and the Western idea of video games are very different. They really are. I mean, some of the big games in Japan are like the puzzle games, where we, generally like first person shooters and stuff like that. So,
and they came in who are more Cybertronic.
Yeah. I mean, it was like the Vita was full of like Japan. It was full of, RPGs, dating sims, just cutesy, crazy anime stuff. And I was like, man, this is really cool. But then later on, as I was starting to get kind of bored, and I was like, playing Final Fantasy 14, and I'm like, I'm about to just go ahead and turn this off, get some sleep, because it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. They started showing some more stuff, like they started showing a new Ys coming out for consoles, and this is actually the first Ys game in a very long time that's been out on console. I think the last Ys games that were on console were probably, I would almost say it would be the PS2 was the last Ys games that we've had on consoles. The rest of them's been like PSP and DS and Vita handhelds, so that was really cool. They also showed a Dynasty Warriors-esque game based off of Dragon Quest Heroes, which that looked really awesome. Persona 5, New Disgaea. I mean, Sony really took it in. It felt like almost like I was watching, going back to the PS2 era. That's how good it felt. So it won me over. I mean, that's definitely the next console that I'll get is a PS4, just for those games alone. And they already won me over with Silent Hills being an exclusive title. So
yeah, is that a timed exclusive, or is that just going to be a complete exclusive?
It's a complete exclusive. It's made by Sony Studios. Sony Studios and Konami. So I don't think it's I don't know if it's going to go on Xbox anytime soon.
So on that note, what do you think of the kind of the releases that Sony have got? Because you said this won you over in terms of the presentation. Do you feel that it's exactly what you're looking for?
I would say so. I mean, it's got all that nicheness that I like. It's got something different compared to the Wii U, because I think that's some of the problems. Like a lot of the systems, they have those multi-plats that you can get on either console, and that's the reason why I kind of like exclusives, because it gives you a reason to want to own another console, and kind of dive into that different era. There was a time where consoles were very different from each other, and like when you had a Super Nintendo, you had a certain experience with that system compared to the Sega Genesis, and we've kind of lost that now, because both systems are pretty much the same.
Yeah, no, I agree. With the Xbox One and the PS4, there's no kind of dividing in between both of them, and truthfully, like on the Xbox One, you've got most of their exclusives are on PC as well, so there's not really any reason to buy the console.
I mean, people can sit there and they can sit with a pen and paper and tell us about frames per second and shit. But who gives a fuck?
But yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit. So they've got the PS4 apparently is going to be updated with new system tools and drivers for the console platform as well. That's part of their big reveal. Basically, the console platform's always evolving. The manufacturers often look at pushing the envelope, providing their developers with the best tools to create the best games. Sony seems to be planning just as they revealed a career opportunity ad for senior Java engineers. They've been adding more Java-based applications to the PS4, as well as extra updates. And in terms of games, did you see Bloodborne, by the way?
Oh yes.
For that, what did you think of that? That's a new one from From Software, and it's like it's kind of an unofficial sequel to Demon Souls and Dark Souls in a way.
I loved it, man. I love the art style that it has to it. To me, it looks more Castlevania than anything else. It has that real gothic, almost like Middle Ages Black Death Plague era. It was just, right. I really like it.
So moving on from that, let's talk a little bit about, Jamie, you were talking about Resident Evil Revelations 2 being released.
Yes, we have a release date for Resident Evil Revelations 2. They actually leaked it a few weeks ago on the PlayStation Network. They had an accidental thing where you could purchase it. Of course, it's not available for purchase. But they had the title up, Resident Evil Revelations 2, and 2 pictures. And everyone went nuts, and I was like, what is this? What is this? And I looked at it, and I started analyzing it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is Revelations. And Resident Evil Revelations 2 will be put out in early 2015. It is set. We just got new news on it today, posted in a Push Start magazine. It will be put out, like I said, early 2015. Claire Redfield is the main person. The young girl that we saw, if anybody watched Resident Evil Revelations analysis, the girl that we thought was Rebecca is actually Barry Burton's daughter, Moira. It is taking place between between Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6, which puts it out of the timeline for Rachel Foley to be in the background, which was in my analysis as well. They said that the zombies are called the Afflicted, which is interesting, and it seems to me like the Afflicted are being controlled or infected by the bracelets that they wear, as in the trailer they start off green, and as the Afflicted start coming in, the bracelets themselves turn red. So this is very interesting. I can't wait for it. I'm finding out that a lot of like the analysis stuff that we did was right. So that's interesting. I'm going to be doing a follow-up video on it, probably either Sunday night or Monday night, recording a video about what we found so far. But I'm really excited for Resident Evil Revelations 2. I hope that the story is a lot better than Revelations 1, because the story in that one, while the gameplay took it back to its original roots, I felt the story in the original Revelations was a bit boring.
Do you like Muscly Chris in his no t-shirt, sitting there typing?
Oh, God, I'm gonna throw up.
That man is drinking his breakfast with steroid juice.
Oh my God. But yeah, so that's what I know about Resident Evil Revelations 2. I am super excited.
Yeah, and going on from that as well, apparently Capcom have put in an advert as they will be releasing a new untitled fighting game. But it hasn't been revealed as to what the game's going to be, but there is talk that this could be Street Fighter V.
Ooh.
Any excitement there, lads? Yeah.
I mean, I love Street Fighter. I'm just really curious of what this is going to be like, considering the creator of Street Fighter is not with the company anymore.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that, Xander.
Well, I cannot remember his name to save my life right now, but he left Capcom probably about like 3.5 months ago. They said it was just for personal and business reasons. So, I mean, maybe he wasn't agreeing with what they were going to do with Street Fighter V, because I know they were talking about that they were going to add them as like a win mode for online, where you can actually kind of pay for your victories and crap like that, or maybe lessons, or I don't know. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what they expect.
That would bug me if they did that. If they did like an online win mode where you could pay. You can't pay to play. That bugs me a lot. In terms of like someone who loves Street Fighter, I think pay to play is something that shouldn't happen in games as a whole. You know, it's ridiculous.
Didn't we learn our lesson from Killer Instinct?
No, I don't think we have.
That's a shame.
The problem is these developers get things in their minds, like they want to push a certain direction, and it doesn't matter to them, you know. In terms of the Tokyo Game Show news as well, let's talk a little bit about the cosplay. Jamie, did you see any of the cosplayers?
No, I didn't. There was cosplayers?
Yeah, there was like tons of amazing cosplays, because I've been looking at a lot of the YouTube videos about the Tokyo Game Show. A lot was taken over by Sony and Capcom. You know, we had the usual releases as well, such as the Wii U stuff. And also Microsoft tried to release the Xbox One in Japan.
Why do you sound constipated?
Because it was really bad. There was a queue with no one there.
Oh God.
Nobody, literally no one was there to kind of give support, and you can forgive people for not being there, but no one really gave a shit, about that. And it's one of those things where what did Microsoft expect? Xander, what do you think? Do you think Microsoft have learned their lesson with Japan?
No, I mean, I think like Microsoft really wants to make an impact with Japan, but it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier with when PS4 was showing all the Western style games. I mean, not only is Microsoft, a Western company, but that's the games they make. And unfortunately, I mean, that's just not the market there. I mean, they have a totally different mindset with gaming. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I know that when they released the Xbox One in Japan, they were releasing it with the Titanfall bundle. And, I was like, well, I guess they got something right. I mean, it's got mech robot kind of characters, but then again, if you watched, mech anime, I mean, a lot of it's, drama. It's not really about Michael Bayism, robots shooting everything. There's always like a lot of story. I mean, you watch like Macross, Do You Believe in Love? That's a total drama movie. It's not about robots. So, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's funny. I mean, like if they can come out with some kind of niche games, then Microsoft might do well. But they've never done well in Japan.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's as a company as well. Apparently, the Japanese audience don't like Western developers coming in their territory. They're kind of loyal to their own in a sense. That's why Nintendo and Sony seem to do so well over there.
Yeah, I mean it's a totally different market, man. They like their mobile games and puzzles and stuff like that, Do
you like your mobile games and puzzles, Xander?
Sometimes. I'm actually not a big fan of Tetris, though.
Do you like it? Do you like your Tetris, Ollie?
Yeah, it's alright. It's nothing special. It's like Pac-Man. But nothing really special about it.
I'm a big fan of Tetris cosplay.
Hey, you know what? You try to fit a whole bunch of stuff in a car, and let me tell you, you go to a con with a whole bunch of stuff, you will enjoy Tetris. You will love the skill that you have gained from Tetris. We like car Tetris, okay?
Oh yeah, I've done that with the band. I mean, try sitting a whole, base setup in a freaking Honda Civic. It's not fun.
Oh my god!
So,
that would be fantastic.
Talking a little bit more of news that's coming from Tokyo Game Show. Xander, did you see any of the other companies' games when you were looking at the Sony conference?
I can remember off the top of my head. I can't. Maybe that says something. But I mean, the ones that really stick out of my mind are the ones that I really want to play, like Dragon Quest Heroes, Bloodthorn, The Order. Trying to think of some more that are coming out that I was really excited about. New Disgaea, Persona 5, Ys. I mean, that's really stuff that really comes to my head.
Okay, so I'm just going to have a look here, see if we can find any more little bit of news coming from the Tokyo Game Show. I was going to say E3. But for me, I think Sony is kind of, I don't know, they kind of actually set the tone in terms of the Japanese market, because at the moment, did you hear the news going on around that Sony don't even know who's buying the PlayStation 4?
Yeah, I heard about that.
What do you mean?
They don't know who's buying it. They don't know who's buying those consoles at all.
Wait, why?
Just
How?
Do some sort of marketing, tracking.
Yeah, pretty much. So basically, Konami have also put that the Silent Hills and Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, are finally coming. It's going to be a big 2015 for Konami, of course, showing that the two best titles, including the PT Silent Hill tester that everyone loved from Gamescom, and Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain, that's been suffering numerous delays, hasn't it? Does anyone know?
I'm not sure.
But it's another one of those big things, I think. Now, Konami has confirmed they'll be bringing Metal Gear Solid 5 to Phantom Pain and Silent Hills to Tokyo Game Show 2014. You expect to see more from Silent Hills soon, especially since it's reportedly releasing in 2016. But apparently the title will be under spotlight on Konami's conference stage. It remains to be seen what developer will be showcasing, though. Personally, from the game footage that people, I think they're basically letting people see the PET tester. Now, it's been revealed as well that the Silent Hill PT demo has surpassed 1 million downloads on PlayStation 4.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so there we go on that one. Kingdom Hearts 3, they're basically the release date for that, the Tokyo Game Show. Now, they're waiting the end of DS Saga. Kingdom Hearts 3 will be showing you something exciting and thrilling. Square Enix has an ardent fan following with a static crowd waiting final dates to be announced. Rumours proclaim that it will be May 2015 that the game was going to be released. It has been.
I thought that game was going to be another Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah, it's basically said that the rumours coming with the game that may be the last game in the Kingdom Hearts series. That it will be released, will be making its round with new characters coming through and being introduced as well via that game. Now, just having a look at any more news that we've got here as well. Bravely Second.
Cannot wait.
Apparently they did a playable demo of that at the Tokyo Game Show.
Yes, they did.
So Lee, tell us about that a little bit.
It looks really awesome. I mean, it kind of goes without saying that Square has people's faith in Square has wavered in the last few years, but whenever I picked up Bravely Default, that really showed me that there was still a soul in that company somewhere that could put together a beautiful RPG. And if anyone who has played the game, the gameplay mechanics are wonderful. It's a job-based, turn-based, tactical, or not tactical, but just a regular RPG. It's very old school. The artwork is amazing, and all the new artwork that they showed, and granted, most of the stuff was in Japanese. It looked amazing. The artwork, dare I even say, it looked like they have taken it to another level. And if they can deliver on another game on par with the original, I'm on board. I cannot wait. Supposedly, it also says, they're adding new bosses that are going to take a lot more to take down. Because of the job system in that game, you have to kind of find a combination of jobs to tackle the really hard bosses. You can't just level to 99 and then beat everyone down. It reminds me a lot of the Ruby and Emerald weapon in 7, like really, really strong enemies to challenge your thought, and I love that stuff.
So, Xander, what do you think of the announcement of the second Bravely game?
I'm really excited about it because I really enjoyed the first one. I thought it was a love letter to people that grew up with SquareSoft, and it was an old school RPG. It had, some may even say it's a Final Fantasy game without the name. I mean, it's got a lot of the things that we've come to love with it. So with that, and now Bravery Second coming out, I'm hoping that it continues to sell well, because Bravely Default really spiked the interest and kind of made Square Enix realize that, oh, you mean they like Japanese RPGs? Oh, maybe we need to start making more of them. So, I mean, they got the new Bravery Default coming out of Bravery Second, and they've also been talking about localizing Dragon Quest VII on the 3DS, which I'm really excited about that, and I hope that comes out because they completely redone it. And, I mean, I hope that gets released everywhere because, unfortunately, Dragon Quest VII or Dragon Warrior 7 was never released in the UK. So it gives you guys a chance to play it, and it's a fantastic RPG.
Where would they basically do it? Would they basically localize it for the 3DS?
Yes. And it's completely redone.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. In terms of having it over here, I think Square Enix really needs to do it, because they did kind of drop the ball on their releases over here as well. So, going on from that, let's have a look at some more news here. Okay. Sorry guys, the news has been kind of thin with this stuff. It's ridiculous. Okay, Namco Bandai had their complete Tokyo Game Show lineup revealed at the time as well. You had like playable demos of Ace Combat Infinity, Digimon Story, Cyber Sleuth for the PS Vita, which was a trailer on there as well. Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Now this is supposed to be a very, very good game in terms of the Dragon Ball saga, because you play a completely new character. You play like basically a time-traveling Saiyan in a similar vein to Trunks. Have you heard any news about this?
I have. Actually. Oh,
I have. I'm really excited about it because it's going to be almost like the Korean Dragon Ball Z MMO that we never got to play. It was only released in Korea, and it's going to be very similar to that. I don't think it's going to be straight up MMO, but have a lot of the MMO elements kind of very similar to Destiny. So I'm really excited about it. And yeah, you make your own character. You're in that Dragon Ball Z universe, and you can actually be a male or female. So you'd be a female Super Saiyan, which was pretty awesome.
That's awesome. Can you imagine how awesome the hair would be on a female Super Saiyan? Oh my god.
What, like at Saiyan level 3?
Yeah, but
yeah, it would be like
it gives a chance to say it's over 1,000.
Yes.
You played the previous installment of the Dragon Ball games, didn't you, Xander? Because I remember you got one for the 360.
Oh yeah, Battle of the Z. It was garbage.
That was great for you. Because I was looking at it myself, and I was sitting there thinking, should I get it or not? And I remember you went, I'm going to get it. So I was like, cool. And then I never heard any more conversation from you about it.
Well, I had fun with it the first week or so, but then when I was progressing through it, because I was playing co-op online, it just got to the point where it was just really, really cheap and the characters spammed all the time.
Huh. So even with the online multiplayer, it just didn't hold your interest? So, got another. I know another one that you're going to be that I know you've probably already pre-ordered from Japan, and that's Godzilla for the PS3.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I don't really know too much about it. They haven't really released gameplay, so I don't really exactly know what kind of game this is going to be, but, I mean, it's got the classic Godzilla. They also have the 2014 Godzilla in it. They have Ghidorah, Mothra, and I believe Rodan's going to be in it as well. So,
oh my god, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
What's it going to be? Like, do you even know what kind of game it is?
No. I don't know if it's a fighting game or...
I hope it's a fighting game. That would be so funny.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
They also had Gundam Breaker there as well, Gundam Breaker 2. Hello Tsusagi Idati no Kensugi. They're the trailer for that. The Hayamata Yoshiko Live for the PS Vita. As you said, there are tons of PS Vita games. The Irregular Magic High School Out of Order. I don't know what this is. It's a playable trailer. What? Do you know what this game's about, Xander? I guess not. Also M3 Dark Metal Mission Memento Mogo, Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operations for the PS3, Seven Deadly Sins, Ujutsu Sin, the trailer on that one, Soul Calibur Lost Swords for PS3, Superhero Generation, as well, which is another trailer there, and Tales of the World Review Unita, Tales of Zeninja, as well. So you see that there's a huge list here from Namco Bandai, including smartphone games, browser games, family area, console games as well, for the 3DS and Wii U games that they have. So it seems like Namco Bandai have E3 covered. Had Tokyo Game Show covered. There we go. Why do I keep saying E3? So there you go, guys. E3, I keep doing this. Tokyo Game Show was kind of silent, wasn't as big as we'd expect it to be, but it was still a great show overall. So, saying that, I think it's now time for our show's plug. So, Xander, go for it.
All right. Well, I also host a video game podcast, Excess Gaming Podcast, And you can listen to us on you can listen to us on Podomatic.com or on iTunes. But I was about to say Blog Talk Radio because we are going to be on Blog Talk this Tuesday because we're going to be doing episode 50. It will be live. Burhan will be joining us with my co-host James Gruesome. We're going to be doing a live show, and I'm really excited about that. We got a couple other surprises as well. But you can also check me out on YouTube as well. I have a channel. It's youtube.com/Xander Skullion. And I try to make a video every week so you guys can check out, whatever. I'm trying to do as much as I can with everything. But, and you can check us out also on thenerdgenius.com and also on, retroonlimb.com.
Jamie?
Well, I'm now on retroonlimb.com as well. I haven't got my user set up yet, but I'm hoping to work on that maybe tonight or tomorrow. I have a YouTube channel called Shimeji, Shigeme. Nope, God, I just spelled it wrong. Whatever.
Shomgee, isn't it?
Shimigee. Excuse me while I spelled my name wrong. I just did a Resident Evil facts and what the fuck video where it's just general rapid fire facts about the series, things that people might have missed, and just facts about the game itself. It was a 19-minute long video, but if I split it up into 2 videos, you would have been watching 2 videos that would have amounted to 18 minutes anyway, so just suck it up. And I also did a Resident Evil Revelations 2 trailer analysis. You can find me on Instagram and on Facebook at Hazardous Cosplay, HAZRD-US Cosplay. I also have a Tumblr at Shimeji, which is spelled the same way. And gosh, I think that's it. Maybe my Twitter at GVirusJunkie, and you can find me there. And just kind of check it out. So, yay.
Lee?
I don't have any plugs. I'm just here for the fun and the ambiance. But I do have a channel on YouTube. Nothing special. VG Master 337, Video Game Master Lee. Some funny stuff on there, but nothing too important.
And last but not least, Ollie?
Yeah, I got nothing to plug. I'm just here for the sexual favours.
Well, he's also got a couple of reviews that we're going to be doing this week, part of nerdgenius.com and also animecourtyard.com for both this. I've forgotten what the fuck this game's called.
Some sort of digging game.
This is so bad because we're actually in the middle of playing it as well. It's called Steamworld Dig: A Fistful of Dirt. So we're doing that, and we've also got a PS Vita game, Dragonara, that I'll be reviewing as well with Ollie. We basically play through these games, we do a couple of short plays, and then we post our findings with a finalised review. It's great things. We've got more coming. Ladies and gents as well, Sunday should be the debut of our Kickstarter for Silent Hill Genesis. I've been working so hard for the last 7 months trying to get this done.
Oh shit.
No, it's hard work with myself, with Tam, with Rob Man, with Xander, with Dan, with everybody that's been a part of this project. It has been menacing trying to get this together. I'm on the final stages of rewriting the script.
That
we have.
I was going to input one thing. I mean, you got to understand this is this project. Like everyone that's working on this project, we live nowhere near each other too.
Yeah. It's a big thing, for each and every one of us. We've done a lot in terms of this project. And we've been working our butts off trying to make sure that we get something done and done properly. This is not a bunch of people making a fan film or making a fan TV series. This is actually a TV series that Konami have given us permission, to basically do this. It's a big thing for us to basically put together a proof of concept for them. And because we've done this proof of concept, because it's basically, it needs funding because they're not giving us any money to do this. It's basically on the right of, if they like what they see, then hopefully we will get the funding that we will so require. If not, then we get nothing. And it's not a big deal for me, but on the term of someone who owns an independent company, someone who's dreamed of basically producing something that's a masterpiece in terms of the work that I do, it's come so close, and it's bridged the gap between the two things that I hold dear, gaming and film. And I'm a huge film buff and a huge gamer. I'm a big fan, and I've got these two worlds that I'm a part of, and the fact that I get to basically work within both of them by doing this pilot, it means the world to me. And, it means the world to Xander as well, producing an album of music for something that most people probably would never even see,
Exactly, yeah.
And it's our thing, and we want to make sure that we can do something amazing for each and every one of you. So make sure you donate. It's a passion project. It's love. It's something that we want to do. And we want to we're putting our heart and souls into, guys. And if you have any spare money, that aside that you want to put onto that, go for it. It would mean the world to us.
Join the Facebook fan page, so keep up to date with what we're actually doing.
Yeah. Silent Hill, Facebook fan page, which is facebook.com/Silent Hill Returns. And last but not least, let's basically move on to now. As we end the show, I want to say a great big thank you to everybody that's listened to tonight's show and continues to listen to I Got Gameplay, because it's amazing.
That's good.
Yes. And we're basically, at, putting us through the roof in terms of our episodes, in terms of the feedback we get, in terms of the coverage that we get from each and every one of you guys. So keep supporting us. And, if you want to show a bit more support, we are on Patreon now. If you click on patreon.com/NerdGenius, you can support I Got Gameplay, the Nerd Genius YouTube channel as well, the Nerd Genius website, by basically donating as little as $1 a month. And $1 a month can mean a lot to us, because the fact is nobody gets paid for this stuff, and we do it because we love it. But anything that you can afford to help us to kind of get the site redeveloped, get more shows like this Job for Hire produced, and also even get to the fact that we can get our co-hosts paid, that would be great. Thank you to everyone that keeps the support, though, and thank you as we now...
Michael, before we go, do we have ideas for our 100th show?
We haven't as of yet.
We have? Okay, if people want to...
Yeah.
Legitimate ideas, not... Don't just give us stupid,
Yeah, if you want to... basically, we've got the 100th episode coming up. If anybody has any ideas, just leave a comment on our Facebook page, facebook.com/IGotGameplay. And that would help us out. So let's move on now to the outro. And remember, guys, for Jamie Stiles, for Xander Skullion, for Oliver Hughes, for Mr. VG Master himself, Lee Garisic, and for Zach Latour, who couldn't make it on the show tonight, and everybody else, this is Michael Burhan saying that we've got gameplay. Have you?